Greetings, everyone. This is Gerard, editor-in-chief of Filipino Soul Magazine, aka S.G.I.B magazine, strong G Island biz, Long Island's first urban bilingual music magazine, and then changed over to strong G Island. Soldiers got intentions, believe that, because everyone should be soldiering for something, a dream, a goal, an idea, a train of thought, something. And on the P.B.G's production stands for photos by Gerard, the best in freelance publicity photography. I thought I'd try something a little different. You know, I'm watching my Christmas video, and there are a couple of things I left out, and I thought maybe I would critique it as I watch it and add in what it is that I want to elaborate on as we go on. So just hang in there for a moment. You know, in the video, I say I love girls. You know, and I do, because I think girls are God's gift to men. We should cherish them. We should love them. We should admire them. We should take care of them. And we should worship them. Yes, worship. And you know, I look at little girls. I look at little girls running around, and I imagine, oh my God, you're going to grow up and going to be such a beautiful, beautiful girl. And you know, here in the Philippines, it's different than in the States. See, here in the Philippines, I can talk to a child. I can touch a child's face and say, "You're so beautiful." You know, I can have that interaction with the child here. Where if I was in the United States, they probably, "Please, he's trying to take my child." You know, like, this is crazy. And that's one of the beautiful things about the Philippines, is that, you know, how trusting they are. Not only how trusting they are, but how they're not, you know, politically, you know, how they're not tarnished by the way of the Western world. You know, before I say this, so I look at young girls and imagine how beautiful they are when they grow up, especially teenagers. They're so beautiful. And I look at older women and imagine how gorgeous they were when they were young. Woo-wee! You can tell. And then I look at girls my own age and say, around my own circumference, you know, who I can, you know, and say, how much? I'm only joking. I'm only kidding you. But you know, girls, being from America, you know, I can walk into a room where there are girls sitting in a room with men, you know, their own, you know, kind, and they're sitting there, you know, very casual, with the legs crossed, the legs open, you know, just having a good time talking. And then when I walk in, the whole demeanor changes. They close their legs, you know, they put something in front of them, and I'm not one to look or stare to make someone uncomfortable. I don't do that, you know. So, you know, it makes me wonder what are they told about foreigners, you know, to make them feel like they have to, like a flower, and implode and close their beauty. I don't understand that, but it happens. But anyway, so you know, I had a friend of mine, when I was looking for a wife. He told me, he says, "Gerard, are you looking for a wife?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Look for old woman. You find an old woman, and you go to her, and you tell her you want to marry a Filipino girl, and she would get her daughter, her granddaughter, or someone like this, and she would bring them to you and say, you want her?" Like this. And he said, you can go to some province and you know, and tell the barangay captain or something like this, like, that you're looking for a wife, and they will line them all up who want to get married, and you have your way and pick whoever it is that you want to get married. You know, I never tried that. I don't know how much I believe that, but it's an interesting concept. You know, that, you know, I have not been desperate enough to want to try. Let's look more at the video. Okay, I talked to you about the girl who I thought was raped. And I told you I always keep chocolate condoms. So, as you see, chocolate flavored. This making videos is hungry work. Salad, anyone? You know, I just weighed myself a couple of days ago. Where I weigh myself is interesting too. I weighed myself at the veterinarian, because they have an outside scale there that they put the dogs on, or whatever animal you have. So because it's open, the scale's out there 24 hours, I can stop anytime and weigh myself. So I was 108 kilos. There's 2.5 pounds to a kilo. I learned my metrics through selling cocaine or being a pharmacist. You know. So I was battling with this 108 kilos. 2.5 would be 200 and 230 pounds. But now I weighed myself a couple of days ago, and I am 105, which is good. Which is 205 kilos. No, 205 kilos. No, 205. 5 kilos is 10 pounds. So that's 210 pounds. No. You figure it out. I'm 205 kilos now. Bon appetit. I talk about money. How people think foreigners always have money. And so I am quick to tell them, I said, look, I am black. You have old money and you have new money. Old money is money that you may have gotten from a business that you had owned at one time or another, you sold, or an inheritance, or something you maybe pension that you worked over so many years or whatever you get. This is old money. I'm new money. New money means like I get my money once a month. There's no savings. There's no backup money. There's no backup reserves that I can go to. So whenever my new money comes in and it's gone, it's gone. But some people can't comprehend that I run out of money. Yes, I speak about Charles Manson, where I got the slogan, the Prince of Wannabes from. Let me clear up a couple of things about him. He never personally killed anybody, but his followers did. So he was convicted of murder for ordering the hits on the people who he killed. So he never personally killed nobody, but he was convicted of being a conspirator in the death of the people who he killed. Yeah, I was just telling you about my not making my last year's New Year's resolution, creating a page where I acknowledge all my G angels, people who have helped me in my moment of need, who God put in my path, and I consider myself having angels around me, so I wanted to mention them. I didn't do that. One of the rare times I didn't accomplish my New Year's resolution. But this New Year's resolution, I have another one. I have like 300 and something followers, which is not much, I mostly post these videos for myself, for my daughters, and people in the entertainment industry who wants to watch them. But my New Year's resolution is that I want to increase my followship in my YouTube, I guess, or whatever, to 1,000. So I'm going to try to see what I can do to make my YouTube channel a lot more publicized. You know, this is the time when you need someone young or blogger, you know, to get you out there. And I'm also going to try to do a lot more internet radio interviews that I've been asked to do. So I plan to do more of those. I would like to start my own, so maybe 2021 I will start my own radio show again. I've been on the radio a number of times. In fact, I broadcasted 18 weeks of Do You Swear to talk about the Jacksons, the whole Jacksons, and nothing but the Jacksons, so help you God, during Michael Jackson's last trial. And once a week I would go on the air and I would talk about the trial. I would have guests to come and speak about the Jackson family. And I highlighted each one of the Jackson children for their own accomplishments. You know, Rebe, Janet, you know, each one of them have been successful in their own rights as artists. And you know what? Say what you want to say about Joe Jackson, you know, but, you know, you don't hear anything about his children being pulled over in a high-speed chase. You don't hear nothing about his children being arrested coming out of crack houses. You don't hear anything about his daughters being in porn videos. You know, what he did, though, was he made them all millionaires or put them on the track to become millionaires. So, I'll tell you what, Daddy beat my ass and made me rich, you know, if that's what it took. So, say what you want, but we need more fathers like him who would turn their children into productive, you know, self-sufficient individuals. So anyway, that's what I want to do this New Year's resolution. Hold on, let's watch more of the video. You know, I mentioned that Helen is like a cat. She ignores you. She comes when she wants to come or whatever. But let me tell you something else about Helen. Helen is the only dog I ever had that when I call her, she won't come. Helen, if I take her off the leash, pew, she is gone. I might as well kiss her goodbye because she will not come back. She will run. The last time I was in Bacon, she got loose when I was playing tennis, and we tried to catch her, and it wasn't until she was at the end of the pier where the water is, where she couldn't go any further, that I got her. But Helen will not come back. Yeah, I talked about the time when the Godfather stole Mr. James Brown, and I was covering him, and I was fighting under the stage with Frank, the staff. Let me tell you one other time. At that time when that happened, when I had to give them my film, I made a promise to myself that I would never give my film up or expose my film like that again. And so anyway, I was in North Carolina, and I had, since I grew up there, I went to the newspaper in Laurinburg, and I told them, look, you know, I went to school here. This is a local boy done good. I'm a big-time publicity photographer. I've got a lot of work. I showed them my portfolio, you know, of a lot of people I photographed and what have you. And the local newspaper did a nice story on me because I was doing my motivational speaker, the dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. So I went to the bigger paper called The Exchange or something like that. It was in Fayetteville. I had an appointment to meet the editor. So I went to the editor and I went to meet him, and I showed him my portfolio, and he pushed himself back from his desk and said, "I don't believe you took any of these pictures." I said, "What? What? You don't believe I took any of these pictures?" At that time, I had Patti LaBelle was performing, and I was able to get backstage to Patti LaBelle. I told him I was photographing Patti LaBelle that night. So he said, "Bring me pictures of Patti LaBelle and I will believe you." So I said to him, "If I bring you pictures of Patti LaBelle, how would you know I took them?" And he said, like saying, "Oh, you're a smart SOB. You're right. I don't know if I took them or not." So anyway, that night I was photographing Patti LaBelle performing. I'll tell you how I do what I do. When I find out that a big artist, is going to perform, I usually go to the venue when they're setting it up, and I start talking to the crew, all this stuff like this, and I stay there. I stay there so long that when people coming in for the concert, because I'm already there, they think I'm part of or I'm supposed to be there. And then I latch on to somebody who I know who is important to the venue, and then I'm accepted as either part of the crew or part of the performance. So that's how I always got in. So I find out who is the most important person there. And so at Patti LaBelle's concert, it was a guy called Sneed. I think Stanley Sneed, who was Patti LaBelle's manager. So that night when I got there, I'm here to see Mr. Sneed. And of course, everybody knows Mr. Sneed is the man. So they can't tell me no because he mentioned the right name. So we got to get him in front of Sneed because we don't know who he is, because we don't want to lose our job. So they got me. I went and saw Mr. Sneed. So I said, "Hi, Mr. Sneed. My name is Gerard. I'm a freelance publicity photographer. Here are my publications. I want to photograph Miss LaBelle and Miss Patti doing her thing." He says, "Okay, sure," and gave me a pass. So I had a pass. The carte blanche, go anywhere I wanted to go because I was important now. So Patti LaBelle's performing. James Ingram was also on that venue. James Ingram was performing on there too. So James Ingram comes on and performs. And so in the middle of his performance, his wife stops the concert. And Patti stops the concert. Now, I already talked to James and said, "Can I take pictures of you?" He said, "No, no pictures, no pictures." I said, "Okay, I respect that." So when they stopped the performance, they brought out a cake for James Ingram to wish him a happy birthday. So they stopped the performance, "Happy birthday to you," his wife and Patti kissing him and all this stuff like this. So he has big lipstick marks on his face. So when he starts going downstairs to the dressing room, I'm at the top of the stairs, so I hold my camera down by my side and I said, "James." He turned, click. I took the picture of him. So I go back in front of the stage, and I'm photographing Patti LaBelle. Pow, pow, pow. And I look to my side, and I see James pointing at me. He's pointing like, "There he is, get him." So they start cutting through the people after me. So I know they're coming to get my camera. So I rewind the film back into the cartridge, pop open the back, took the cartridge and put it in my pocket. And they came, grabbed my camera back, pulling. I said, "Take it." So they took it, and they brought me downstairs in front of James like this. James grabbed me by my sweater and pow, smacked me like this. So I told you no pictures. I said, oh shit. But, you know, while they were doing that, my cousin was in the audience. So I ran up and I gave my cousin about 6 rolls of films. Here. God, I wish I remember the name. I said, here, take these out. So he got them out. So James and them kicked me out. James and them were leaving. And so my keys for my car was in my bag. So I told him, I need my bag. I can't leave. So while James is leaving, they said, oh, because I said, I tried to tell cop, he hit me. And so the cop said he accuses you of striking. James says, no, I just wanted to kiss him. So one of those things. So of course, the radio stations got wind of this. I went to the hospital. You know, I had some type of bruise on my face. I didn't want to take pictures of it. I figure, you know, this is a suit. You know, so I figure, you know, we'll handle this like men. So I'm doing radio interviews around the country talking about how James tried to kiss the photographer and he's getting sued and all this stuff like this. So I found a lawyer who took the case. He had just won one of the biggest settlements there for like $65 million or something like that. So I said, okay, this is my boy. So he took the case and everything, and what happened was that James changed lawyers, because his lawyer was ready to settle. So James changed lawyers, and his lawyer says, no, we're not settling, nothing. And so the lawyer turned to me and said, I can't take the case, and dropped it. So I went to another lawyer. They said, yeah, they take the case, and then they made whatever call. They said, no, I'm not taking the case, and dropped it. So I figured, okay. He's either making deals with the lawyers or telling them that, you know, and they dropping the case. So right then, I decided that I was never going to lose a case because I couldn't afford it. So, you know, some other things happened after that, but that's the story of James Ingram and my having my film taken again, you know, from someone, and I got some nice shots that night. Well, as you can tell, or as you saw by default, I couldn't do my 100 push-ups, you know, but it's okay. There's always next year. Okay, so remember, this is Gerard, editor-in-chief of Filipino Soul Magazine. Remember, dreams are nothing more than plans of winning action. Never disrespect the elder, and always pull someone up. And sometimes you're the only one to see your vision. And the best revenge in life is to live good. I'm living good today. I hope you are too. I'll talk to you later. Peace. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ollie Woodson, former lead singer of The Temptations, once sung, treat her like a lady. And ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a good man like me, make him feel like a king. Ciao.